People really seem to ignore the previous things from the Snyderverse. They say the Snyderverse started failing from this point of Black Adam, even though Wonder Woman 84 exists, Birds of Prey exists, original Suicide Squad exists, and there's another Snyder cultist YouTube channel that I really dislike. His name's like CS the Director, which is really funny because I don't think he directed anything, and he doesn't know the art of directing and how being a CEO has nothing to do with each and individual part within the art of each individual movie. See, James Gunn is planning the structure and planning what comes next, but he's not a person to write. He's not the person to direct. And he even said that DC's gonna be different than Marvel, making it so that you don't need to do your homework on MCU. You don't need to watch each and every single DC movie and remember each and every single part of the DCU to understand the whole thing. That was the criticism of some Marvel fans, and I agree. Like, forcing people to watch every single project that Marvel does just to understand stuff doesn't make sense. And I think people like Aaron Fishner, CS the Director, and then our movie reviews or something, our movie news, something like that. Those three people are clear Snyder cultists, and I just think they're pointing out as us not appreciating Snyder stuff, where I'm pointing out that you're not open-minded of new things, because at the same time you're only talking about the Snyder stuff when you never even talk about Rebel Moon and all the other stuff that Zack Snyder's doing. Also, you're saying James Gunn has one trick mind without even mentioning Super or the Slither movie, and the fact that he wrote Dawn of the Dead and the Scooby-Doo movies, and he also produced a lot of other stuff, and also he proved that he's a comic book fan by showing him reading comic books. I never saw Zack Snyder even take a picture of him holding a comic book, nonetheless showing him have a action figure of a comic character or anything like that. No offense to Zack Snyder, because Zack Snyder's I liked 300. I liked that one owl movie he was in, and then Dawn of the Dead, of course. And yeah, just think Snyder cultists should just be open-minded of the future, because they opened a studio in Europe for DC specifically. Also, Elseworld movies. Zack Snyder never even thought of Elseworld movies. Never even mentioned anything. And if you wanted them to continue the Snyderverse stuff, you also want The Rock to overpower the DC company and all that stuff. And that's a bad idea. But yeah.